Let me ask you three questions. Do you know how to explain the gospel or how a person could be saved? I don't mean do you know the general principles, but could you sit down with somebody and explain how to be saved? Second question is, when did you last explain how to be saved to anyone? When was the last time you explained to anyone how to be saved? And the third question is, do you look for opportunities to share with others the good news of Jesus Christ, the plan of salvation? Do you look for opportunities, place to change the conversation, place to share? Well, I was reading in this month's Facts and Trends, and it had some interesting points in it. The first point I thought was really worthwhile mentioning today, and I hope pastors are watching this. 80% of the top baptizing churches have a regular evangelistic training program. 80% of the top baptizing churches have regular evangelistic training. Evangelism Explosion, CWT, Faith, Four Spiritual Laws, something. Do you? Does your church? Should you encourage your pastor to make sure that there's an ongoing evangelistic training program? Secondly, does your pastor always make sure that he has a two-purpose invitation? One, for people to respond to whatever the message of the day was, whether it's about worry, prayer, whatever, and an invitation for those that have not accepted Christ to accept Christ. It's interesting, the way that we learn is repetition, repetition, repetition. Sometimes it's that fifth Sunday that visitor hears the plan of salvation invitation that they finally walk forward. Not too long ago, my own son rebuked me because on these videos, I didn't have the plan of salvation at the end of each of the videos. He said, "Dad, you know, one of the things I always admired about you after all your years in pastoring, 35 years of pastoring, you never closed a service, whether it was Sunday night, Wednesday night, or Sunday morning, without giving an invitation, giving someone an opportunity to respond and accept Christ as their Savior. Why don't you do that with your videos?" Well, I realize that most of you probably, when you get to that section, know what's coming next with the plan of salvation being scrolled by on the screen. And you probably just go ahead and shut down the video, and that's fine. But what about those that have not accepted Christ as Savior? What about those that don't shut down the video and watch that extra couple of minutes and see the plan of salvation? I was very thankful for my son reminding me that nobody should ever leave a conversation without giving somebody a chance to respond. Finally, we need to learn how to celebrate those that are sharing their faith. Not only because they have the boldness to share their faith, but also because many times people are saved. We don't celebrate with them that they've been able to lead somebody to Christ. First Peter says, "But sanctify Christ as Lord in your hearts." That is, set Christ aside in your heart. Always being ready to defend to everyone who asks you to give an account for the hope that is in you, yet with gentleness and reverence. That means training. That means learning how to turn a conversation. That means learning how to open up the subject. And that means learning how to do it with gentleness, with reverence, not hitting them over the head with the Bible and bruising the fruit, but gently telling them about the loving care of Jesus Christ and how he died on the cross for us. Now look, don't go attack your pastor. Go in love. If there's some areas where your church could improve, share that in love with him and offer to help in any way that you can. It's much easier to criticize than it is to help. So don't criticize. Try to help. Volunteer and help him to see that every service should have an invitation and that every church should have a plan of salvation that's being taught. to all of its members. It's just not pastors and staff that are soul winners. It's every member of the church. That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a good day.